You know, it's pretty wild when a single, undisputed scientific fact, a number that literally everyone agrees on, can lead to two completely opposite conclusions about the universe itself. Today, we're going to dive into a fascinating case where one simple observation has created two entirely different worlds.
Okay, let's just jump right in. Right off the bat, here's the central, really provocative claim that got this whole explainer started. The idea that everything you see in the night sky, all the stars, all the constellations, is actually contained inside a ceiling that's only about 110 kilometers above our heads.
So you hear that, and you gotta ask, right? Where in the world does a claim like that even come from? Well, it's not just pulled out of thin air. It's actually rooted in a very real, very powerful piece of technology. Let's break down the evidence, step by step.
So, it all starts with something that is a matter of public record. This incredible facility down in Chile that shoots these super powerful lasers straight up into the night sky. What we're talking about is the European Southern Observatory's 4 Laser Guide Star Facility, or 4LGSF for short. It's part of the Very Large Telescope, and its whole job is to fire 4 laser beams up into the sky to basically create 4 fake stars.
And here it is. This is the number at the absolute heart of this entire discussion: 90 kilometers. See, the lasers create these artificial stars by hitting a layer of sodium atoms that's just naturally hanging out at that exact altitude. 90 kilometers. Remember that number, it is key.
And just so you know, these are not your average laser pointers. We're talking 22 watts of power for each beam. That is literally thousands of times more powerful than the little laser pointer you might use for a presentation or to play with your cat.
Okay, so let's just pause here on this one, undisputed fact, because everyone agrees on this part. We have a man-made star created by a powerful laser that is glowing in a layer of sodium 90 kilometers above the Earth. And it's from this one shared starting point that two completely different stories begin.
So let's start with the first interpretation. This is the official scientific reason this multi-million-dollar technology exists in the first place.
You know how stars twinkle? Well, that beautiful effect is a massive headache for astronomers. It's all caused by turbulence right here in our own atmosphere that bends and distorts the starlight, making it pretty much impossible to get a really sharp image of anything far away.
The solution is this amazing technology called adaptive optics. A computer locks onto a star, it measures how it's twinkling hundreds of times every single second, and then it physically bends a flexible mirror inside the telescope to perfectly cancel out that distortion in real time. It basically untwinkles the star. But here's the catch, the crucial point. This whole incredible system needs a bright reference star to work. So what do you do if you're trying to look at, say, a really faint, distant galaxy, and it happens to be in a patch of sky with no bright stars anywhere nearby? And this is the genius solution. As Dr. J from the ESOcast explains, you just make your own star, right where you need it. You fire up that powerful laser, you make those sodium atoms at 90 kilometers light up, and voila! The computer gets its perfect artificial guide star to lock onto. Okay, so that's the established scientific model. You with me? Good, because now we're going to pivot and explore how the exact same data leads to a radically different conclusion.
In this slide, it just lays out the core disagreement perfectly. For scientists, that 90-kilometer laser is a tool to see things way beyond our atmosphere. But in the alternative interpretation, that 90-kilometer limit is seen as proof of a physical barrier, a ceiling, that actually proves nothing exists beyond it.
So how do you get there? Well, the reasoning kind of follows this path. The observation is that these incredibly powerful lasers stop at 90 kilometers. The inference then becomes, well, that must be a hard limit. So the conclusion is that all the celestial bodies we see have to exist inside this limit. And this central claim then gets connected to a whole web of other ideas, suggesting that the sodium layer is kind of like an ocean above us, that maybe the pyramids were a similar kind of technology, and that all the stars are really just part of an electromagnetic light show. Okay, so let's bring these two worldviews side by side and just see how they stack up.
I mean, this is really the heart of it, isn't it? One single number, 90 kilometers, becomes the absolute bedrock for two models of our cosmos that are just fundamentally, completely incompatible with each other.
And this table here just summarizes the whole divide perfectly. Are stars light years away, or are they just over the horizon? Is this amazing laser a tool to help us see farther, or is it proof that we can't? Is the universe this vast, expansive place, or is it actually contained and enclosed?
And really, that's what we want to leave you with. It's such a fascinating case study in how we interpret data, when the core fact itself isn't the issue, but what that fact means is completely different depending on who you ask. What does that tell us about evidence, about belief, and about the grand stories we build from the very same set of facts?